Hi, I'm Neil deGrasse Tyson, your personal astrophysicist, and I'm here to answer questions. Could a comet or asteroid destroy Earth? A comet and asteroid will take out life on Earth, but Earth itself will be just fine. So when people say, especially people in the green movement, we need to save Earth, save planet Earth, you have no idea how resilient planet Earth is. It got slammed by a Mars-sized protoplanet, made the moon, and Earth is still here. What you really mean is, can it destroy life on Earth? It's done it before, it'll do it again. Do aliens exist? Don't know. We're looking for them. What I'm pretty sure is that they have yet to visit Earth. Because if they did, it would be odd that they only visit US government facilities. Prove the Earth is not flat. Okay. Do you have tall buildings where you are? If you do, and a sight line to the horizon, positions people from the ground floor up to the top floor and have someone hanging out in the roof. And all you have to do is, at a sunset, when you have a clear view to the western horizon, have each person looking out the window, when they see the sun set below the horizon, have them raise their hand or shout out. And you will see one by one, in sequence, each person raise their hand until the person does so from the roof. That tells you that the sun is disappearing behind a curved surface. And if Earth were flat, when the sun set below that edge, everyone would raise their hands simultaneously. What's something about the universe that makes you emotional? All of it. But especially the fact that the ingredients of life itself, hydrogen is in our bodies. That was birthed in the Big Bang. And then we have carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, silicon, iron. Those elements did not come from the Big Bang. They came from stars, forged in their core from thermonuclear fusion. And those stars happen to be the stars that also explode, scattering that enrichment across the galaxy, allowing subsequent generations of stars to have planets, some of which have the right ingredients for life. What is biology but highly complex chemistry? And there's no understanding of chemistry without physics. So all of this comes together. And so these ingredients that comprise us were birthed in stars. It's not just figuratively true, it's literally true that we are stardust. We are alive in the universe, and the universe is alive within us. That is a gift from 20th century astrophysics to modern civilization that borders on the spiritual. That makes me emotional. How many molecules are there in a glass of water? Ooh, there's bajillions in a glass of water. All I will tell you is that there are more molecules in a glass of water than there are glasses of water in all the world's oceans. Think about that. When you drink that glass of water and those molecules come out of your body in any one of a half dozen ways, those water molecules go back into the environment. There's enough water molecules that came back out of your body to scatter into every other glass that anyone draws from the world's water supply. Given enough time, it gets completely mixed. That means every glass of water you drink, there are molecules that pass through the kidneys of King Henry VIII, Winston Churchill. Pick your favorite historical character. So you want to talk about the oneness of all life on Earth? The water molecules through your system captures that fact. Why was Pluto demoted? It had it coming. I mean, come on. Most people who are Pluto lovers don't know the following facts. Ready? Okay. A, more than half of Pluto's volume is ice. If Pluto were where Earth is right now, it would grow a tail because heat from the sun would evaporate that ice. It would have a tail. That's no kind of behavior for a planet. Not only that, Pluto's orbit crosses the orbit of another planet. No other planet does that. You know what does do that? Comets. You know, comets are made of ice. Pluto is not necessarily the biggest thing in its orbit. There are other objects that rival Pluto in size. It does not own its orbital space. In fact, we concluded Pluto was one of the larger objects of a new swath of real estate discovered in the universe, called the Kuiper Belt. Is intelligent life an evolutionary fluke or an inevitability? Ooh, well, a couple of things. How inevitable could intelligence be if we're the only intelligent life on Earth, and Earth has been around for 4.8 billion years? If it were inevitable, you'd think it would show up more frequently in the tree of life, but it hasn't. So it's not clear how inevitable it is. If aliens came to visit looking for intelligent life and they arrived 500,000 years ago, that's tiny compared with the history of the Earth. We're not here yet, and they wouldn't find any intelligent life. So it's not clear how inevitable it is. What you don't want, what could likely happen, especially lately, is aliens come to Earth and they go home and report back, there's no sign of intelligent life on Earth. When will the universe end? Not in fire, but in ice. And not with a bang, but with a whimper. We are on a one-way expansion trip, never to cease, never to slow. And if dark energy has its way with us, in 10 to the 22 years, the expansion of the universe would have accelerated so rapidly that it would have ripped the very fabric of space and time itself. And we call that the Big Rip. I don't even want to know what that looks like. What happens when we die? I can answer that. If you're religious, you go to heaven and you hang out with all your relatives. I can answer this as a physicist. We are warm-blooded creatures, which means my skin temperature is nearly 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and the room I'm in is not. The room I'm in is 70 degrees Fahrenheit, okay? So in Celsius, body temperature is like 37, but room temperature for you is like 20, 23 degrees. So you are maintaining a temperature difference every waking moment of your life. If you died, your body would cool to air temperature. That's why if you've ever touched a corpse in a casket, the first thing you know is, oh, it feels cold. No, it's actually air temperature. It feels cold compared to when you normally touch a human body. All right, why does the body temperature drop? Because you're no longer metabolizing energy. The only reason why we consume food, other than the nourishment, is to have energy to maintain this body temperature difference. Okay. Also, we have neurosynaptic activities in our brain. We have thoughts, we have a consciousness. Let's say you die by a series of mini strokes. You know the person to whom this is happening. And bit by bit, their personality goes away. They lose their ability to recognize you. They don't know how to speak. They don't know where they are. Their consciousness fades, and you're witness to this. If you do a scan of their brain, you'll see parts of the brain shutting off because they're not activated by oxygen. That's what strokes do, of course. Then the person dies, and the metabolism stops. You put them in the earth, the molecules still contain energy. And those molecules are dined upon by microorganisms in the earth. And you are given back to the ecosystem. You're given back to the circle of life. I choose to be buried for that reason. I spent my whole life dining upon flora and fauna. It's about time I gave back to them in death. So when we die, I'm not given reason to think that your state of mind in death is any different from your state of mind before you were born. Before you were born, you were saying, where am I? How come I'm not? No, it's a state of non-existence. After you die, state of non-existence. So that's what science says about death. But death is so scary to so many people. We fear death because we're born knowing only life. Is teleportation possible? What you'd have to do, you have to be like demolecularized, turn into a beam of energy, and they beam the energy to another location, retaining all the information that is you. Because you kind of lose that information when you convert matter into energy. But you have to somehow retain it and then reassemble your atoms. I'm waiting for the future where we invent wormholes. Then you just step through to the destination. No dematerializing, no reassembling your atoms and putting back the information of all your neurosynapses that makes you in your mind. You just step through the wormhole and you arrive. So teleportation, yeah, I don't think it'll ever happen for the information problem that it poses. Is there life on Mars? We're looking. It wouldn't be on the surface. There's a high ultraviolet flux from the sun, protected here on Earth by our ozone. No such protection on Mars. Ultraviolet is hazardous to biology. If there's life on Mars, maybe it's in the waters that are beneath the surface, in like an aquifer, something such as that. How does the Earth spin? Everything spins. Everything. Particles, planets, stars, galaxies, everything. When they form from larger gas clouds in the universe. If the gas cloud has any motion at all sideways, no matter how small, as it collapses, that motion grows. It's called the conservation of angular momentum. We all know this. We've all seen it. We've seen it with ice skaters, where they come to make a spin and their arms are outstretched. And as they bring in their arms, what happens? They spin faster and faster and faster. And they can take their arms and put it up above their head so that their arms get even closer to the axis of rotation and they spin really, really fast. If you want to reverse that, then you just extend your arms back again. So that ending posture, that ending panache at the end of the spin, they have to do that. Otherwise, they keep spinning. So when you see an ice skater do that, just keep that in mind. Everything spins. And when it spins, something has to stop it. And it'll spin forever, basically. Okay. Or when you spin a top or anything there's friction between it and the surface. So it eventually slows down. In space, there's no friction. So we good. Is time travel possible? We are already time traveling into the future, 1 second at a time. The problem, though, is we are prisoners of our own present, forever transitioning between our inaccessible past and our unknowable future. So you will always age at 1 second per second. The question is, what is the rate that you are aging compared to places around you? Because not everyone experiences the same timeline. Not everyone experiences the same rate of progress of time. If you're in a strong gravitational field, time ticks more slowly for you. If you travel fast, time ticks more slowly for you, relative to others looking on. So that's all we've got. However, if you can make a wormhole, there's a way to time travel through the wormhole. But we don't have wormholes yet. Are UFOs real? If you see something in the sky and you don't know what it is, it's real. It's a real UFO because the U stands for unidentified. UFO. I see a flying object, I don't know what it is, it's real. So that question, are they real, almost doesn't make sense. Of course it's real. You don't know what you're looking at. It's a UFO. Okay? You want to know if UFOs are aliens? That's different. And I see no convincing evidence that we have ever been visited. And why there's so many sightings? Because most people don't know what goes on above their heads. If you go to the community of amateur astronomers who are out back with their telescope every night, ask them how many UFOs they've seen. Chances are the UFO you saw to them is an IFO, identified flying object. I'm waiting for the high-resolution image of aliens walking off a flying saucer. Then we can talk. What's more important, exploring space or fixing Earth? Let's go back to the caves. 20,000 years ago, we're all in the cave. And the lads in the cave peer through the front door, and they look out and they see mountains and valleys and hills and trees with fruit on it and the sky. And they want to go explore outside the cave. But they don't have permission. So they go back into the cave and talk to the cave elders. Back then, the cave elders would be 30 years old. Half of everyone in that day was dead before they turned 30. So let's go to the cave elders, and they say, we want to go explore outside. And the cave elder, they meet other cave elders, and they come back and conclude, no, you cannot leave the cave because we have cave problems you need to solve first. Only then can you go outside the cave door. That's what you sound like. Point is, you do both. You don't just do one or the other. You fix Earth and explore. There could be solutions out there that can help solve problems here on Earth. Unless you somehow think Earth is so big and amazing that all our solutions are contained here. But if you study the universe, this is Earth and this is the universe, and you're saying, don't study that, only study this. Then we'll solve all problems. Get real. Does anything scare you? Yes. I fear that our species, as it currently manifests in this world, I fear that we lack the wisdom to become the shepherds of our powers over nature that we need to be to ensure that the world is still here for our descendants. That scares me. Do you think most humans are unable to grasp the fundamentals of the cosmos? I'm going to ask a different question. Is the human mind smart enough to fully understand the cosmos at all? Maybe those who understand it best understand a tiny little bit of this larger truth, and the human brain is just too stupid to ever figure it out. I lose sleep over that, wondering if we will ever figure it all out. Or are we just sort of pawing at the base of a mountain, not seeing the glory of what lay before us? I quote Isaac Newton, your man. Sometimes I feel as though I'm a child on the shore, picking up one pebble that's shinier than the next. Yet the great ocean of undiscovered truth lay before me. What is the strangest thing about the universe? That it's knowable at all.